Hi, in this video we are going to see how to encode a Turing machine. So sometimes we'll be discussing a few problems where a Turing machine itself have to be passed as an input for another Turing machine. So we already know that a Turing machine as such cannot be passed as an input because even for representing a decimal number we were using unary representation for representing a decimal number in Turing machine because Turing machine can process only one symbol at a time, and also when I pass a decimal number as such, then each decimal number will be treated as a single symbol. So to avoid that, what we did for a few numerical problems that we have already discussed is, so we followed unary representation. Similarly, when a Turing machine have to be passed as an input for another Turing machine, so we have to have some general representation so that the transition functions and the input symbols that is used in the input Turing machines can be uniquely represented while passing it as an input for the other one. Right? So first we'll make few assumptions. Let Q1, Q2, Q3 and some n be the number of states present in the Turing machine be the states. Okay, so we'll assume that Q1 is always going to be the starting state and Q2 will be the accepting state. Suppose if a Turing machine is not numbered, if the states of the Turing machine is not numbered as Q1 and Q2 and so on, then we have to rename the states as Q1 and Q2. While renaming, we will be assigning the starting state of the Turing machine as Q1 according to the assumptions that we make now, right? And Q2 as the accepting state. Yes. So let x1 and x2 be the input symbol like this. We may be having any number of input symbols. Let that be x1 and x2, whatever symbol we have. Even if we have 0, 1, we'll name accordingly. That is x1 and x2, right? And the directions. That is, we know that the Turing machine tape head for each transition function or for an each move, it has to move its head either left or right. Okay. So to facilitate these movements for the unary representations, we'll give some notations. Okay. So we'll represent L as D1 and R as D2. So these are the universal assumptions which we are going to make for the Turing machine encoding. Right. So now we'll have a transition functions. So suppose if my transition function is like this, we know that the transition function of a Turing machine takes that state and an input symbol. See, noted down whatever input symbol we pass as an input for the Turing machine. So we have to follow the assumption. That is, we have to rename the input symbol according to our assumptions. So assume this is our transition functions. So here this transition function is encoded as shown here. That is Qi, the state Qi is represented by 0 power I. That is Qi state is represented by the I occurrences of the symbol 0. And the separator between Qi and Xj is going to be 1. So here 1 acts as a separator for each parameters that we pass as an input and also the output of the transition function. Similarly, the input Xj is going to be represented as 0 par j, Qa 0 par k, XL 0 par L, DM 0 par M. So this is going to be our encoding for a given transition functions. So a Turing machine is nothing but a collection of some transition functions. So hence we have to encode each transition function that is present in a Turing machine as shown here. So after encoding each transition functions, so the encoding of a Turing machine how to be written. Okay. So to write a encoding or to write the binary representation of the given Turing machine, what we have to do is after encoding all the transition functions present in the Turing machines, see let C1, C2, Cn minus 1 and Cn be the encoding of the n number of n number of transition functions that is present in the Turing machine. Then we have to write the encoding of the first transition function, then separated by the separator double 1, followed by the encoding of the second transition function say C2 and the separator double 1 and so on. Okay. So let us just recall. So a Turing machine is nothing but collection of transition functions. To encode that Turing machines as a binary string, first of all we have to write encoding for the transition function. So we'll write encoding for each transition function that is present in the Turing machine. So after encoding each transition functions, we'll write the transition function one by one, and we'll have double one as the separator between each transition functions that we have encoded. We'll go ahead with an example for this. Let this be the Turing machine which we want to encode. Okay, so this Turing machine as shown here consists of 4 transition functions. So to find encoding for this transition, for this Turing machines, first of all we have to encode each transition function as we saw in the definition. First we'll take this. Okay, so here when we assume that is here in the Turing machine we had 2 inputs, right? What are they? 0 and 1. So what our assumption says about it? The input, that is whatever input, what symbol we make use for the input, but actually according to that encoding rule, it has to be named as or renamed as x1 and x2. So to facilitate that, here we rename, right? Here we name 0 as x1, right? 0 as x1 and 1 as x2. So 1 as x2, right? So here when we write 1 as x2, we will be getting like this. We need not worry because the state is already in terms of q1 and q2. And what about 0? We have to replace with x1 according to our assumption. And directions already we have seen. So right direction is going to be represented by D2, while left direction is going to be represented by D1. So accordingly, we have renamed all the parameters given in the given transition functions, right? So Q1, now after renaming, the transition function looks like this. That is Q1, X2, Q3, X1, D2. That is, we want some representation which contains some script, like we want numbers, right? So like this we are rewriting. So after writing, we'll represent Q1 by 0 power 1, that is 1 occurrence of 0, followed by the separator. Why we need a separator? Because these are all the different arguments. So we need separator for to distinguish one argument from the other one. So 1. Next we have to represent x2. x2 0 power 2. 1 is the separator. q3 0 power 3. See, whatever is there in the subscript, it is going to be here the value. Okay, 0 power 3, 0 power 1, 0 power 2. So now we'll expand. We know that here power is nothing but the string concatenation, that many number of symbols. So after expanding it, this is our encoding, that is binary encoding of this transition function. Similarly, we have to encode every transition function that is present in the Turing machine. So now we'll encode q3 comma 0, q1 comma 1 comma r. So we have to rename x, hence renaming 0 as x1, 1 as x2, right direction as d2. Now we got now the transition function is in required format. We'll rewrite like this in the binary form, and this is the equivalent binary representation. Similarly, we have to encode every transition functions that is present in the Turing machine. So accordingly, we have encoded it, right? So now we have encoded. So since this, in our example, we have taken a Turing machine which consists of 4 transition functions. So thus we have encoded all the 4 transition functions that is present in the Turing machine. Now it is a time for us to club all the transition functions together. Okay. So see, it is not necessary that only the particular order have to be followed while writing this. So any order can be followed for numbering the for writing the code for Turing machine, but we should not repeat the encoding of a particular transition function more than once. Okay, so we have written the encoding of the first transition function followed by the encoding of the second transition function. In between, we'll have a separator, say double one. Okay, so here double one acts as a separator between 2 transition functions. Similarly, we'll write the encoding of the third transition functions, and we'll have a separator between the second and the third one as double one. Okay, like this we have written the encoding of all the 4 transition functions with double one as the separator. Thus, we have encoded the Turing machine in binary format. Suppose instead of asking us to encode the Turing machine in binary format, if the question is encode a Turing machine that accepts the string W, okay, along with W. So if that is the case, then how we have to write the binary encoding? We, as usual, we have to encode the transition function and concatenate all the binary encoding of the transition functions like this. with the double one as a separator between each transition function. After writing it, we'll have triple one as a separator, okay, between the binary encoding of a Turing machine and the string W. Okay, so here, see, I am repeating again, the separator is 1 when we are going to separate or when you are going to distinguish each parameter that is present in the transition function. The separator is going to be double one for differentiating two transition functions. To separate a string, a given string and a Turing machine, we use triple one as the separator. So now here in if the input string is 1101, see we have written the binary coding for the Turing machine, followed by the separator triple one, then the given input string 1101. Thus we are able to encode the given any given